Hey y'all, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I'm back with the third layout using my Firefly Love Ephemera Collage Kit. Whew! It's like a long title for that kit, but anyways. So I have pulled out this photo of Kaylin sitting on our porch wearing most of his Halloween costume. He doesn't have his mask on, but he's wearing most of his Halloween costume here, holding his pumpkin, his painted pumpkin, and his little trick-or-treat pumpkin is right next to that. We were getting ready to leave to go trick-or-treating. And he decided he was not wearing his mask for trick-or-treating. He had worn it to a couple of the other Halloween events that we had went to, but he was over it. When it actually became time to go trick-or-treating, he was over it. And as you can see, my little buddy's here helping me out. He was looking at the photo and playing with my tweezers. He loves playing with the tweezers and picking things up with them, as you guys have seen multiple times. So he's watching himself in the camera. That's what he's doing. So I have pulled out a 12 by 12 sheet from the paper pad that I had originally pulled to work with this kit if I needed it. And I believe it's DIY Home. Yes, American Crafts, DIY Shop is what it is, 12 by 12 pad. And I've just pulled out a large piece of white cardstock. Now I'm just kind of offsetting it, so it's only going to have the border of that pattern paper at the top and at the left. And I'm okay with the fact that I actually probably wasted 90% of that paper. This white cardstock is not the thickest, so anytime I can reinforce it, I will. And then also just to have that border around the edge. I really like the way that it pulls in a little bit of, just a little bit more interest. I am cutting apart this one pattern paper. I'm thinking I'm going to use it right there kind of in between the photo and the journaling and kind of use it as a way to guide your eye to the right. But I'm not sure it's going to stay there. So I've got this piece of black and white polka dot paper, and then I also have the card that actually came in the kit. It's the only 4x6 card that came in the kit, and it's got silver foiling on it, silver foiled polka dots on it actually, and I am just layering those on top of each other. And I have decided that my title is going to be "The Spiders Are Out," basically like the spiders are out tonight kind of thing. But I'm using these Kaiser Craft Latte Tile Alphas, mini alphas. Again, I used these in the last Project Life spread that I did with this kit. Again, this is from the same Halloween season, not from the same day as the other photos that I've been scrapbooking with this kit, but again, from that same Halloween season, or October season, whatever you want to call it. I had this scrap of this yellow piece and I really like it. It just says P.S. I love you. And I have this small scrap, so I'm going to layer it on either side of the photo to make it appear like it spans across the back side of the photo. And then I feel like there's something else that needs to be under this photo, but it's going to take me a little bit to kind of figure it out. And I'm going to end up stopping and finding a few things from my stash to pull in. But I'm kind of looking through the die cuts first to see what I want to add. I wasn't exactly sure. I'm kind of like, this is where I'm like, okay, before I even stick this down, let's find something. And I ended up going to my little stash. I have a basket on my shelves that has tissue paper and doilies and, what do you call that? Like, not wrapping paper, but like thin printed paper, not pattern paper, but just like thin printed paper and things like that. So I went to there and I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, what can I add? There is a lot of gold in this kit, so I'll put out my gold doilies and I have a whole bunch of different shades of gold. And then I had this kind of copper toned tissue paper that has a scalloped edge. It's very wrinkled, as you can see, but I'm going to use it, and I'm going to just kind of fold down the edges, or the top and the bottom, to really only have it layered behind the left side of my photo, and then a little bit on the bottom just to have the color. And I really like the scalloped edge. I think it adds a lot. And at first, I was leaving it sticking out the top, but I just don't like the look of it. It looks too messy to me, so I'm going to take it off the top to where you can't see it, and it's only going to be to the left and to the bottom. And that's it. And the fact that it's wrinkled, I'm okay with that because it just adds a little bit more texture, and it doesn't distract at all. But still, something is missing, so I'm going to go pull out this mini white doily that I have, and I'm going to cut it in half and use part of it here to the left of this photo and then part of it to the right of the bottom of the journaling spot. And that I'm happy with. I'm happy with the way that this looks. I feel like the photo has a little bit more weight now. It's not just kind of plopped down on there. I just feel like it looks a little bit better. And then I do have this measuring tape die cut that I'm going to pull out here in just a moment and layer right behind the back of the scalloped edge of that tissue paper. I stopped and went ahead and did my journaling. So I have it printed right there on this white cardstock, and I'm going to cut it out and just make it to where there's about a little bit more, maybe like 3/16 of an inch. I'm getting very technical here. 3/16 of an inch border visible of that silver foiled card behind my journaling. And I'll read my journaling to you as you watch me kind of put this together. It says, the spiders are out. Watch out. Spider-Man, aka Kalen, and his sidekick, Mini Spidey, aka his painted pumpkin, are out on the prowl tonight. It's Halloween night and they are ready to roll. So if you happen to see any cute spiders roaming around, make sure to give them lots of candy and don't scare them too badly. They may frighten easily. And that's my journaling. For some reason, I've been really into printing my journaling recently. I think I go through phases where I really like my handwriting and other times where I really don't. And sometimes I really want to say a lot, and other times I just want to have little like captions to photos. I guess right now I'm in the point where I really want to say a lot. So printing my journaling, typing it up gives me the ability to really think about what I'm going to say, and then also obviously fit a lot more onto a journaling spot than what I could with my own handwriting. Wow, I feel like I'm talking fast. Now I've just had coffee, so there's very much a possibility I'm hyped up on caffeine at the moment. So I apologize if I'm a little jittery sounding. I probably am a little bit jittery now that I jittery. Okay, moving on. So I've got all these die cuts that I'm just kind of placing down, seeing what works. And sometimes, I don't know, sometimes my fingers just don't seem to work properly and I have to pull out the tweezers for the little skinny things. Especially if I've recently trimmed my nails or broke a nail or something. I don't know why it takes me a minute to get used to that. It sounds absolutely ridiculous. I'm quite aware of that. But anywho, I put this silver tab over here to the right side, just layered on top of the edge of that doily, and I'm going to pull out a stamp set here in just a moment and stamp on top of it. And I'm going to stamp just the phrase side note, and that's going to be stamped right there on that silver tab. Now, I was a little concerned with the yellow chipboard arrow that I have there because I had already stuck my tab down, so I wasn't sure that my acrylic block would work on top of that chipboard, but it does. And I know I could have taken that tab off or put the stamp to the edge of my acrylic block, but I said, you know what, let me just try it. Not that I could have taken it back after I tried it, but it worked, thankfully. Thankfully, it worked. And this is, the layout is actually coming to an end here. There are a couple more things that I'm going to add. I still have to add my little measuring tape to the left side of the photo. Then I'm going to do a few more embellishments up here to the top left at my little flag that's at the top of the page. Sometimes I like adding flags to the top sides of the page or the bottom sides of the page. For whatever reason, I like it when they run off the edge, but for whatever reason, it feels more complete when there's something up there. Not that just everything is in the center of the layout and the edges are incomplete. When I have things like that around the edges, I feel like it's more complete. And I love the way that measuring tape sits. I probably would never, I'm not saving it for another layout or anything like that. So I really like the way that it looks layered right behind the photo here. I'm going to get that adhered down, and then I'm just kind of looking around the rest of my layout to see if there's anything else that needs to be added. This one's actually fairly simple. It's not very overly embellished. I could have added sequins, but I didn't. I love sequins and I could add them to every single thing, but I have to really kind of hold myself back because I can't have, well, I mean, I could, but I don't feel like I should have every single page with a bunch of sequins scattered around. I just feel like that gets a little too repetitive in my album. So I try to just make sure that not every single page, especially ones back to back, that not every single page back to back has sequins, which is why you have not seen any more sequins since the first layout, actually. I was just worried I was going to get too repetitive, especially since these layouts are all going right next to each other in my album. I'm layering 2 of these black die cuts at the top. One, it just says, "You make me laugh," and I'm cutting it apart to make it kind of layer. And then I have added that cream colored one with the black heart on it. And this should complete my layout. That should be everything on this one. I really love this kit. It's been so refreshing to use a kit with so many die cuts. and an interesting mix of other supplies as well. So it's just been a little bit different than what I usually work with. So I highly suggest you go find one of these kits or something similar if you have not. I've enjoyed it. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I should have another layout for you guys up soon using this same kit. Thank y'all. Bye.